All right, back at it. Back on some things that, I think we should know coming out of high school, but we don't. Yes, I need a haircut. Don't make fun. You can, whatever. But a lot of people in high school or coming out of high school, they've been taught, the Pythagorean theorem. You've learned algebra. You've learned pre-cal or trig. You've learned all these things. And yet you know nothing about a budget, what a credit score is, how to get a line of credit, how to start your credit, how to buy a home. None of that, because nobody's decided to take time to teach you. Well, here we are. Let's learn about some of those things. I'm going to throw out a little series of these, and one of them today, we're going to start with credit. And things I see, you see that we've got a car lot. So I see a lot of people with bad credit. You understand me? I see a ton of people that have credit that is lacking. And what got them there? All right, so what is credit? Credit score, you've got three main branches of credit scoring agencies, I guess you'd call them. You got TransUnion, Equifax, and anyway, there's three of them. Two of them, TransUnion and Equifax, are the two main ones that I see the most scores from. So, and maybe the third one went away. Anyway, but the major problem is you can't get a loan for a car most of the time unless you go to a buy here, pay here lot, which we are not. I try not to do that to people. I don't want to repossess their car. I don't want to get into that. But what we do is we try to find lenders that are willing to work with what we call subprime credit. Well, that's somebody with a credit score below 600, between 5 and 600. And below 500, you're going to have to go to a buy here, pay here lot. Well, what if you don't have any credit? Well, that's okay. A lot of times, if you can find a cosigner, a parent, a brother, sister, sibling, cousin, aunt, uncle, coworker, friend, somebody that's willing, and get this is not to be taken lightly, they're willing to sign their name that if you quit paying, they'll pay. They're signing on to this loan with you. Okay? It's not to be taken lightly. You need somebody that trusts you and that you trust. Okay? But the easiest way for you to establish credit, if you've got no credit, the cosigner helps. You can go to a credit union. I'm from Mississippi, but in Alabama, there's credit unions. In Mississippi, we didn't have those options. It was only banks. Credit unions are great because they're member-owned, and they're a lot more likely to be able to get you a loan in the beginning, especially with lower credit or no credit. So that's a good thing about those. But you're going to go to one of those, or you can find a finance company they're going to be a higher interest rate, but they can get you a car loan. If you want to start out with something as large as a car, I don't suggest that. I would suggest you start it with maybe a computer. Go to Best Buy. Okay, they'll get you a credit card. If you're at least 18 years old in most states, you can get a credit card through Best Buy. 0 interest as long as you're making the payments. That's the key. That's the catch. You have to make the payments on time. And not necessarily pay it off early on this. If you're wanting to establish credit, you need an account that's been in operation for a little while. And you need an account that's got some time behind it. The better credit's going to have multiple accounts with time behind them. Okay, you don't want to be like us looking to try to buy a house with no credit. My wife had credit because she had borrowed for, guess what, a computer. Me, I had never borrowed. Nobody had ever told me about this. Nobody informed me of this. So we've learned a lot of this by what you'd call school of hard knocks, learning on your own, right? So buying a house with no credit, pretty hard. We were able to do it. Thankfully, the good Lord provided. We made it happen, but a lot harder than it had to be. Go get a computer. Go get something from Best Buy, maybe an appliance store, somewhere that you can borrow a small amount of money that's easy to pay back and pay back over time to be able to start to build your credit before it's time to buy a house. Now, do I say rent until you're 30 years old? I don't think that's a good idea either. It's a lot smarter to go ahead and get in there and start doing the getting your credit built up early, and then go ahead and have your house ready to go. That way you're not just pouring money into somebody else's pocket. So anyway, get that small loan first. That's going to be the quick down and dirty on getting credit established. Once you've got credit established, it's a lot easier to get credit for these larger items, i.e. your home or a car or whatever. Don't always keep a car payment. Pay that thing off and start putting that same exact amount of money into a savings account or an investment account somewhere to start building your long-term wealth. But as far as building credit, you're fresh out of high school, maybe you're in high school, there are places that will loan you. You can get a bank to loan as long as your parents will sign when you're below 18 years old. Because I know that's how my wife did it. She was able to do that. So now I know that that's not always the case, but that's a good place to start. Start small. Don't go for the big budget items right off the bat. Find something that you can afford. Find something that's not going to break you, that you know for sure you're not going to miss a payment, and you know for sure you're not going to mess up and come short. So that's a quick tip, and we'll get to the other big items that people need help on here very soon. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks, guys.